Hi everyone. So we are doing a fall themed chop and chat. We've got a lot of fall themed loaves, a few like chunk bags that I'm planning on chopping. I wanted to ask for like fall themed questions in my fall wax melt collection video, but I knew I was gonna film this like the same day that I filmed that video. So I just Googled like fall themed questions, fall this and that. So I'm just gonna kind of answer some of those that I just Googled, but I would be totally willing to do a fall chop and chat part 2 if you guys have any questions you want to ask me. It can be fall or non-fall related, but we definitely have enough things that I can do a second part. So anyway, as you can see from my thumbnail, we have a ton of L3 loaves. I love the like fall themed colors as well. So yeah, these are all things that I showed from my fall wax collection. And then I thought to do a few things that we don't have to microwave. So a few of my Teddy Bees chunk bags, then just one lonely L3 2-pack buns that we can chop. I kind of want to chop these last if we have time. So I am going to pop one of the loaves in the microwave and we will get started. Here is our first loaf in Basic Witch. I grabbed this one because it is my oldest. This is from, I wrote October 2021, and then this is the double bag, so I will keep this one and save it. But yeah, this is the first one. 30 seconds on one side, 15 seconds on the other is what I did. Let's zoom in so we can really get a good idea of how I chop the loaves. So I chop my loaves super tiny because I love mixing and matching. If I want to do any blending, if you chop your loaves really tiny, you can easily do like 2 cubes of this and 2 cubes of a coffee blend or whatever you want to do. Thinking about that now, this one would be a really good one to blend with a coffee. But anyway, let's jump into these fall questions I Googled. The first one says, what fall scent smells the best? So obviously this isn't necessarily geared towards like a wax melt Q&A, but it's kind of funny that that happened to be the first question. And then it gives examples. It's like pumpkin spice, apple cinnamon, apple cider, bonfire, just to name a few. So, I mean, obviously all things pumpkin and apple. If I absolutely had to choose between apple and pumpkin, I think I would choose pumpkin only because I cannot live without my pumpkin pecan waffle blends. I do love apple scents now. I feel like apple is one that I can sometimes get a little bit sick of if I do apple too much. I know last year I did a ton of apple scents and I got kind of sick of it. And that's kind of why I haven't been doing apple scents throughout the rest of the year, because I just did way too much apple and got sick of it. But I am really looking forward to doing some apple scents again this fall. But I have never ever gotten sick of pumpkin pecan waffles. It's like my absolute favorite. And the funny thing is, pumpkin pecan waffles doesn't even really smell like pumpkin to me. Even though it has pumpkin in the name, but like pumpkin spice, I was gonna say pumpkin spice, spicy pumpkin, those are basically the same thing. That I can't always do. Like sometimes it's a bit too spicy, like baking spice heavy, when it's pumpkin spice, nutmeg, clove, cinnamon. Sometimes that's a little bit too much if I don't blend it. But I don't know, pumpkin pecan waffle, I'm just considering that a pumpkin fall scent, so that I just cannot live without. Oh my gosh, we're getting a little crooked on the side here. So this is basically kind of how I chop my loaves up. I'll chop it 4 rows like this, and then it's kind of variable. I just do eyeball it however many like columns I do. But, and then some people leave it like this. This would be a fine chunk to pop into a warmer, but to me it would be too big if I wanted to blend. Like this chunk would be too big to do 2 of them. I mean, I guess it depends on your warmer size. So then I like to chop them extra small into little cubes. So we will chop it like this. And then I chop it like, I don't know, maybe 3 times going down like that. So then you can easily pop then like 2 chunks of this one and 2 chunks from a different loaf or whatever for mixing and matching, blending, however you want to do it. And we'll chop this row same exact way. So back to the question. I mean, so definitely if I had to choose between apple and pumpkin, pumpkin hands down because of my all-time favorite pumpkin pecan waffle scent, but I am getting into kind of branching out into different scents like the marshmallow fireside, toasted marshmallow, you know, a little bit of smokiness. I don't know if I could go as far to say like bonfire smoky, like that can be a little bit too much. I would definitely need to blend it, but I'm getting into some of the marshmallow fireside notes, as well as I'm experimenting with Palo Santo blends. I don't want to go crazy because I don't know, maybe I don't, you know, maybe I won't like it as much when I go to warm, but you know, scent preferences do change over time. So even something that you may have thought you didn't like at one point in your wax melting journey, I guess, definitely give another try to blends or even vendors that maybe didn't work for you great when you tried them out at one point. Sometimes vendors, you know, it depends on the season, the room, the warmer, and you know, it might work better with experimentation. So yeah, so I love all these satisfying like little cubes, and I will list all my tools. Is this one cut? This one looks a little bit big. I will list all my tools that I use to chop my wax in my description box. The cutting board is from Amazon, as well as my wax cutter. And yeah, I love everything. I go back and forth whether I use the crinkle cut or the straight edge. I don't know. I don't really prefer one over the other. I just like to switch it up sometimes. But yeah, let me know, are you team apple or team pumpkin or something else in the fall? And you know, apple and pumpkin are great mixed together too. It's such a like quintessential fall blend. I will clean up my board with these little pieces and we will chop our next blend. We are doing pumpkin pecan waffles birthday cake next. It's hard to read, but I wrote November 2021, so this is also a little bit of an older loaf in my collection, so we will go ahead and chop it. The next question says, what's your favorite fall activity? And some examples say hay rides, trick-or-treating, pumpkin carving, etc. I mean, obviously when I was younger, trick-or-treating. As I've gotten older, I mean, we don't have trick-or-treaters in our apartment. And growing up, I lived on a busy street and a lot of my neighbors like didn't leave their lights on, and we lived like right in the middle of the street. So it's kind of one of those neighborhoods where you look down and if not a lot of lights are on except like the middle house, like who's gonna go all that way down the street for like one house? Also, it was like a little bit hard for trick-or-treaters because we have so many dogs like growing up. And so they'd all go crazy, barking, try to go, you know, get outside the door if like the trick-or-treater rang the doorbell or whatever. So it was kind of a little bit of craziness at my house when it was Halloween. So eventually we honestly just started turning our light off too because it just was too much of a hassle with all the dogs. But yeah, I mean, it'd be super fun if one day I like moved into a neighborhood that had trick-or-treaters. I mean, I'd totally love it. I'm totally one of those like crafty people where I'd get all into it. I'm sure I'd make like little goodie bags or something like that. I think that would be super fun because when I would trick-or-treat when I was younger, I loved the houses that gave out like little goodie bags. I just thought it was like so fun. It was like a little present. So I would totally be into that, and like trick-or-treaters, and I don't know, I think it'd be really fun. But yeah, we don't have trick-or-treaters now. Hay rides, honestly, I haven't really been on a whole lot of hay rides, but that would be super fun. I would totally like to go on a hay ride, or like a spooky hay ride. I love pumpkin, like, I love the idea of pumpkins, but again, like, I don't really carve pumpkins. I did a little bit growing up, but then like they get so gross and nasty, and then I feel like fruit flies like infest the pumpkin if you carve them. I guess you could leave them like outside on like a porch step, but again, we're in an apartment, so I'd probably have to leave it inside, or maybe on like our little balcony, but I don't know. I just don't really carve real pumpkins anymore, but I'd totally be into it like one day again. I remember growing up, I went to a pumpkin patch and it was super fun. Like, they just leave out the pumpkins, but obviously you don't have to like chop it from the vine or anything. So that's always pretty fun, but I feel like they're not too large, or like sometimes there will be little pumpkin patches in apple orchards, like as a little fun activity, but they're not like large pumpkin patches where you'd go exploring. But I would totally love to find like a pumpkin patch one day and like find my pumpkin I want to grab and things like that. But something I do every fall, like a fall activity, I guess it's almost like a tradition because we do it every fall, is usually go to like an apple orchard. I think that's a super fun fall activity. My husband's birthday is late October, mid-October, but kind of late to the mid days. I don't know. I was probably just being really confusing there. But so we usually take off a few days around his birthday in the fall time, and usually we'll do like an apple orchard around, you know, those days that we take off. And I love it. I love getting like my pumpkin spice latte or my pumpkin cream cold brew from Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks. Then we'll head to the apple orchard and just make kind of a fun morning of it. We like to kind of get up early and do it so it's not too busy and it's still like, you know, the crisp, cool fall weather. And then you have the whole rest of the day, because usually we're back home by like, you know, noon or, you know, early afternoon. So apple orchards are super, super fun. And we went to an apple orchard the other year where they also had like a raspberry picking field, which was really fun because my husband loves raspberries, and it was super fun to do that. Does anyone else do that? I feel like, or do this when they're at apple orchards. I feel like it's so fun to pick the apples, but then I don't usually eat the apples. I don't know why, so then they end up going like bad, but it's just so fun picking them. I do love carameled apples. Love carameled apples. I can't eat them like off of the stick because they get way too stuck in my teeth, like the caramel. So I just like chop it with a knife and chop them. Honestly, I cut my carameled apples like these cubes, like just into cubes. Then it's so much easier and more enjoyable to eat, because I remember as a kid too, biting into a carameled apple, you'd like scrape all the caramel off, but then like the apple with the skin would be left. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but it's hard to eat carameled apples like directly off like the little stick it's on. So it's like way easier to chop the carameled apple and then eat them in like little cubes like this, like the wax. But I am so looking forward to caramel apples. I'm craving one now. Like, looking at this wax reminds me of carameled apples. So I'll just get them from the apple orchard or like grocery stores, Target. They'll have carameled apples around the fall time. So yes, I am so excited for the fall. Also, like in our apartment, I think I've mentioned this before too, but like I don't have a lot of room for like decor and storing, you know, seasonal items. But when we get a house, when we eventually move and have more room, I would totally go all out decorating fall and Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas. I'm just so excited for that. I think it'd be so fun. And also I would get so much more seasonal warmers. The only seasonal warmers I have are like my pumpkin fall warmers. And then I have one Christmas warmer, but I would love to get like more seasonal things or like go crazy at Home Goods because they have such good decor. We've got October vibes now. This one you really need to warm and then the scent comes alive because of the sugar cookie royale. Like even warming it up now, it smells so good, but on cold it's not like super impressive, but oh my gosh, I love anything mixed with sugar cookie royale. So there's a few more questions on this website I pulled up, but I feel like they'll be pretty short. Where's your favorite place to go in the fall? I mean, I don't have any specific like tradition that I do like every fall, or like we have to go to this, you know, specific apple orchard, or we have to go, I don't know, to this specific place, like nothing like that. But I remember there's this really pretty, so at one of the ski hills in Minnesota, they also do chairlift rides in the fall. So obviously like the ski hill is not open because there is no snow on the ground, but it's beautiful to ride up the chairlift and see all the fall colors. That's super fun. I've done that a few times, not super regularly, but it is a really, really fun and like beautiful to do. They make it a little activity. I mean, you can go on the chairlift however many times you want, and then they've got like a bonfire, hot cocoa, apple cider, things like that. It's just kind of like a fun activity to do, or like bring your kids to, because it's also not something that will last like hours. I mean, you could do the chairlift like one time, see the beautiful leaves, and then, you know, leave. I mean, it's not like it would take like hours of time, but it's just really gorgeous to do, especially kind of like right around sunset. We did that one year. Actually, it was one of the years we were house sitting, because the place we were house sitting for, our family friend, was super close to the ski hill. And we were still in college at the time, I remember, because we almost decided to skip it because we both had like so much homework to do. I do not miss those days of like having hours of homework to do after school. But I remember we almost skipped it. Then we ended up doing it, and I'm so glad we did. It was such a nice like break, stress reliever, to take a break from all the homework and everything like that. And it just was so beautiful. Then I remember we went out to eat afterwards, and we just had such a great night. So I mean, that definitely like is a good fall memory, and I'd love to do that activity again. So the funny thing is, the next question said, what's your fondest fall memory? It says from your childhood, so I guess that's not from my childhood, but I would definitely say one of my fondest memories was the chairlift in the fall. Fondest memories as a child. I'm trying to remember. I mean, I definitely had a ton of fun as a child. I mean, I'm trying to think though, like specifically. I mean, obviously trick-or-treating, I feel like, was like the highlight of fall when you're younger. Fondest fall memory. I guess also going up north to like my aunt's cabins. One of my aunts, actually two of my aunts have cabins, and then one of my aunts, they like permanently moved up there. So one lives up there, one has a cabin now. And again, it's just beautiful. All the trees, oops, I dropped a piece of wax. All the trees, when they change colors, it's just so gorgeous. I love that crisp fall air, just like taking a deep breath when it's fall time, and it just smells so good and like crisp and clean. So yeah, I guess just like going up north and enjoying the changing leaves and colors of the fall time. And then it says, what fall holiday do you enjoy the most? I guess, I mean, I enjoy Halloween and Thanksgiving. We've got Hufflepuff now. I got this one December of last year. Oh my goodness, I hope that wasn't too loud. I just dropped my chopper. But anyway, I mean, honestly look forward to every holiday, even holidays like, you know, Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day, like even little holidays that you like don't get any time off. I mean, I guess Halloween you don't get time off either. But I just love it. I love something to look forward to. So Halloween's always super fun. I love when people decorate. I just love the time of year. I love like the crisp fall weather. And then obviously Thanksgiving. I mean, it's so important. I love seeing my family. I love like, you know, the meaning behind Thanksgiving, like just, you know, being thankful and everything like that, like kind of like makes you stop and think and put things into perspectives, and like little things that like might be, you know, stressing me out day to day or whatever overshadow things that are like really important in my life and that I may be kind of taking for granted. So I just kind of like, you know, I like that holiday and it just being more like getting together with the family. So I don't know, I love all of them. The funny thing is, I mean, I'm like the pickiest eater. So Thanksgiving, like food in general, it's not something I like always, like the food is not something that I look forward to. It's much more like seeing my family and everything like that, getting together with everyone. And usually we have 2 Thanksgivings because, you know, my side of the family and then my husband's. So I don't know, it's just super fun. I like all holidays. And then obviously like what I love about the fall is that it's like this, once fall hits, so I feel like once we get into like, I mean, I've said this before, I would say like September or October, but really August, because my birthday's in August. So there's so much things to look forward to in the second part of the year. August, because we have so many summer birthdays in my family. September, you know, the start of the fall, kind of back to school. At least when I went to school, back to school was the day after Labor Day. I think it's different now. It seems like school starts earlier, like in August. But when I was in elementary, middle, and high school, it was the day after Labor Day. College, it was in August, but in like high school and elementary and middle, it was the day after Labor Day. And then, you know, October, Halloween, my husband's birthday, November, Thanksgiving, maybe a little bit of snow. We've definitely had snow during Halloween. It doesn't usually stick, but we've had snow in October. And then November, usually once the snow starts sticking, it's usually around Thanksgiving. And then obviously Christmas and New Year's. So yeah, those are always super fun. Then this is actually the last loaf I pulled out. Pumpkin White Elephant Exchange. This is a newer one. I got it in May, but I think it was poured on the website for a while, so this should be nice and cured. So we finished the questions from that one website I just Googled. So here are a few like this or that fall edition questions. So the first one says hot chocolate or apple cider. Probably hot chocolate. I actually am not a huge apple cider drinker, like cold or hot, or like apple juice in general. Like I don't really drink it, so I guess I would pick hot chocolate. I do love getting hot chocolate every now and again from like Starbucks or Caribou Coffee. In general, I would probably get like a coffee drink, but every now and again I'm like, I'm feeling like hot chocolate. So I would say hot chocolate for sure. The next one says apple pie or pumpkin pie. So the funny thing is, I don't like chunky fruit and dessert. I don't know why, but I don't like chunks. Like even like if I get creme brulee and it comes with like, you know, fresh fruit on the top, I don't eat the fruit on top. Or like strawberry cheesecake. I love the, you know, strawberry glaze, but I won't eat the strawberry chunks. Isn't that so weird? Like I'm so picky and funny. Like I'm like, I don't want fruit for a dessert. But yeah, so I would definitely pick pumpkin pie. I love the creamy consistency. It's funny, I used to only eat the inside, like the pumpkin pumpkin filling, and then I wouldn't eat the crust, so you just see this like little square piece of crust left. Now I'll eat the crust on occasion, but I still just like the pumpkin pie filling, which is so funny. The next one says caramel apples or candy apples. Definitely caramel. Is candy apple just like with like chocolate on the outside, or when it has like, you know, they'll be decorated with M&Ms or, you know, different things like that. I actually haven't had an apple like that. I just prefer the good old reliable carameled apple. We start bagging this one up. It says peel apples or carve pumpkins. Peel apples, huh? I don't know really, like literally just peel an apple. I guess I would prefer to carve pumpkins, because I think that's pretty fun and creative. And then if you peel an apple, I mean, then do you just eat the apple without the peeling? Because I don't think you can leave out like a peeled apple. It would turn brown and get a little gross quicker than a carved pumpkin would. Pumpkin patch apple orchard. I mean, I would totally love to explore a pumpkin patch, but we typically more often go to apple orchards, so I guess I would pick apple orchards. Color, hike, color, drive. So I'm guessing like seeing the fall colors, would you rather hike or drive? I mean, I would do both. I think going on a, you know, on a drive to see all the pretty colors, you know, of fall would be beautiful and fun. But I feel like, you know, to appreciate the true beauty, I would love to like hike and be in nature, be in the woods. And I would love to do that with like Mochi and Minnie, like go on hikes with them. It says football or baseball. Oh my goodness. I am not a sports fan. Not a sports fan at all. I'm gonna switch to this smaller chopper while we do these little Teddy Bees items. But yeah, I've just never been a huge sports fan, so I would have to pick neither football or baseball. I mean, we don't even watch football like casually, like I don't even watch the Super Bowl. So yeah, I guess I'd have to pick neither. Movie night or read a book. That one's really hard. I mean, it depends on my mood. I would definitely have chosen movie night if this was like a year or two ago. I wasn't really into reading as much as I am now. I'm gonna chop these into 4 pieces, I think, if they're big enough. This one's a bit thin, so I'll just cut it in half. But now I love reading. My husband got me a Kindle for my birthday. So honestly, I feel like I would prefer reading a book now, just because, I don't know, we don't typically like sit down and watch a movie. We'll watch TV shows, but we don't usually watch movies. And my husband, oh, that was so uneven. My husband is scared of like scary movies. I would love to watch like a scary movie on like Halloween night or something, but he is scared of scary movies. And I mean, I am too, but I like being in the comfort of my own home with a blankie, cuddled up with Mochi and Minnie and my husband. I think it's kind of like fun. Maybe I'll convince him to watch a scary movie this year. If we watch a scary movie, what scary movie would you guys recommend? I would love recommendations. But yeah, so I think I will choose reading a book. I think that's nice. And especially too, I cannot wait to read a book on our deck outside, you know, overlooking the beautiful tree line. I'm just looking forward to that so much. With a blankie, having maybe like Mochi sit on the deck with me. I would love both girls to sit on the deck with me, but Minnie, like if anyone walks by, she goes nuts and barks and growls. So she is not a good deck buddy to have because it's too hard to control her. Okay, let me look at these other this or that's because we finished that one. Let's see, do any of these other ones have anything different? Ooh, okay, this is kind of fun. Some of these are the same, but some are different. So one says sweet potato or mashed potatoes. definitely mashed potatoes. So like, isn't this funny that last bag had like 5 chunks? This bag only has 3, but these are massive chunks compared to this last bag. Don't know if you can like tell. So I loved the chunks that Tiffany used to do, but I also love the tubs. So in fact, I think I like the tubs more. I feel like they're a little bit like cleaner. The wax can get a little smudgy in the bag, although I don't mind wax smudges. But anyway, mashed potatoes all the way. I've never been a fan of sweet potatoes, sweet potato chips, sweet potato fries. I don't like it. I'd rather have classic potatoes, baked potatoes. Oh my gosh, I love them. I literally eat a baked potato like every day. It's my favorite food. French fries, everything. So most definitely mashed potatoes. I would much rather prefer mashed potatoes to not have skin in them. I love baked potatoes and I will eat the skin, but that's because it's kind of like a little bit more crispy. I don't like the squishy, you know, potato skins in mashed potatoes, but I mean, I will eat it if it's cooked that way. So we already did hot cider, hot cocoa, blanket or hoodie. Oh my gosh, can I pick both? I love hoodies and sweatshirts and being cozy, but I always have a blanket on me. If I'm working from home, I will have a blanket on me. Even in the hot summer months, like if it's super hot out, I still have a blanket on my lap. I just feel so cozy. I guess if I had to choose, I would do blanket. Just because hoodies, like, I don't like hoodies when I'm at home or when my hair's down because I feel like my hair like sits weird on the sweatshirt hood. And I might get too warm at home, but a blanket is perfect because you can take it off, or you can have one leg under a blanket, one leg not, or you can, you know, wrap it around your body or wrap it around, you know, just your legs. I don't know. I guess I'll choose blanket. Candles or bonfire? Well, that one just totally depends. I mean, if we're going out and about and at some kind of fall activity, obviously bonfire just like kind of sets the mood. It feels like a warm and cozy fall night. When it's, you know, a little bit chillier outside on a fall night, it's nice to sit up next to a bonfire. But I mean, day to day, definitely candles. Also, you know, with bonfires, I don't love the smell that lingers on your clothes after you go to a bonfire. I always have to wash my clothes, but it's so funny. Some people love that scent that lingers on your clothes after a bonfire. But I don't know. I don't like how it like makes my hair smell like a bonfire and like smoky. So I guess if I had to choose, I would probably choose candles. Let's see. I am trying to look if there's any more this or that's that I haven't done. My perfect autumn day, this or that. Okay, this one's kind of fun. Outside or inside? In the fall, I mean, can I do both? Obviously, I love being inside and then having all my windows open in the fall. But obviously, too, like I like hiking, and like if I was reading, I would like to read outside and enjoy like the crisp fall air. So that one is tricky. I feel like I somehow would choose both. Breakfast date or dinner date? Breakfast date for sure. I think I've mentioned this before, but when my husband and I do get dinner reservations, we go so early. We are like people who hate crowds, dinner rushes, things like that. So we will literally make dinner reservations at like 4:30. I love a good like breakfast date, brunch date. So we will choose breakfast date. So this one kind of combines like two things we already discussed, but the category is bonfire and books or candles and warm bath. I think this one I would choose candle and warm bath. However, I would like to have a book while I have a candle sitting in the bathtub. So I'm meshing this one together too, but, or, oh, oops, that went flying. Or I like to just watch like YouTube or something when I'm taking a bath too, play on my phone, whatever. Sweater and leggings, boots and a dress. Definitely sweater and leggings. I'm in leggings like all the time, almost 24/7. Unless I go into the office. Solo date, friend partner date. Probably the friend partner date. I would much rather go out with someone and have fun with someone, because otherwise I would just stay home. Like if I was alone, you know, in my apartment or whatever, I'd rather just stay home. Like I'm not just gonna go out into a busy, you know, into the crowds by myself. I just get kind of like overwhelmed, and I just don't like being in crowds. Okay, fairy lights or candles. That one's really tricky because we have like Christmas lights up all year round on our bookshelf and on our nightstand, or sorry, not nightstand, bed frame. I think I'd pick candles. Spooky mood, cozy mood. Probably cozy, but I do love spooky season, Halloween time, all the fun decor, things like that. So yeah, I feel like we'll probably wrap this up since I did chop all my loaves and smaller items. This is the kind of remnants of the wax from the loaves that I chopped. So this is like a perfect amount. I'm just gonna pop this into a warmer and it's gonna smell so good, I'm sure. So let me know if you guys have any fall questions or any questions in general. I will totally do a fall chop and chat part 2. I have so many other things we can chop together. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.